So the first thing you'll need to do is cut your shape out. Now, when you're cutting, please cut very carefully. I do not want jagged lines, or I don't want your shape getting messed up. If we think about Jen Aranyi's art, it was very clean and neat and complete, and that's how I want you to start. So cut that out, and then with a pencil, write your name on the back and your teacher code. So what I'm about to show you is how to create a super cool background with watercolors and a salt technique. Remember, you are either choosing cool colors, blue, green, purple, or warm colors, red, orange, and yellow. When you get your watercolors, you need to see if they have been woken up yet. Now what that means is, are they dry or are they wet? So I'm using the cool colors, and I can tell that they do look a little shiny, but I know that I haven't used these. If I put my paintbrush in there, look, these are dry, and watercolors don't work if they're dry. They need water to wake up. That's why they're called watercolors. Makes sense, right? So before you begin, you're going to need to drip a little bit of water into your 3 colors. And when I say drip, I mean just kind of like tap the water in there. We are not twirling our paintbrush yet. So we just tap some water in there. We're not twirling yet. Now these will start to wake up and be ready to use for when that time comes. Now the first thing after that is we need to draw the mountain line. So you can see it's just like kind of jagged or zigzaggy. You can make sure that you start towards maybe like the middle of your paper. We want lots of room for a beautiful sky, and we want lots of room for awesome details in the mountains. So this line doesn't have to be planned out too well. It can be very jagged. Just remember, the higher up you go, I just realized I left a lot less room for my sky and a lot more room for my details with the mountains, which is fine with me. Now this part we have to do kind of quickly, because if you remember, the salt technique only works when your watercolors are wet. If your watercolors are dry, it doesn't work. So you have to do this part kind of quickly. So I'm taking my clear water. There is no color on my brush because I have not twirled it into any of my colors yet. And I know it's hard to tell where you have put the water and where you haven't, but you need to try to get the whole thing covered with water where the sky is. You can see how quickly I'm working. I'm not just taking my time, I'm going pretty quick. Now I bring my colors into it. They are already woken up a little bit, but I do need to twirl, twirl, twirl in order to get the color onto my paintbrush. And then we're just going to be doing those cool zigzag dash motions. Now, let's get some purple in there. Ooh, that one went really cool. I love how that spread apart. And you can make sure you're dipping in the water every once in a while to keep everything nice and wet. We cannot let this dry yet. So I want a lot more blue actually. I'm twirling. I'm noticing my blue is really light in color. So what I can do is just twirl a little bit longer inside of the color, and that will fix that. It will make it more dark blue. I love how these are mixing. This already looks really cool. I love that. So these colors are doing what we call blending and bleeding together. It's okay if your mountain line isn't perfect, but I am going to try to fix it up a little bit. And make sure you don't have any big puddles on your paper. We do not want puddles for this part. I just realized I left my salt on the other end of the room. Give me 1 second to grab my salt. All right, now my paint is still wet, And I can start to sprinkle my salt all around. Remember, the magic does not happen right away. Sometimes it takes 10, 15 minutes, and sometimes it takes a couple hours. So I'm gonna finish sprinkling this. If I have any extra salt, I will throw it away. I won't eat it because that's not what it's for, and your fingers are probably not sanitized. All right, so at this point, you will take this project to the drying rack. 2 hands, be careful. You will take this to the sink area, big red jacuzzi for the paintbrush, dump your water cup and leave it near the sink. And then you can close these up, and there should be a little crate for these near the sink. When you are totally done, you are working in your sketchbook. You may do an Art for Kids Hub video or draw from your imagination. Good luck, artists.